Okay, so another tip we're going to be working on, as you can see I got the valve cover back on. We're going to pay attention to two hoses here. We have one hose in the back here. Before you take off your valve cover gasket, you want to get in here and there is a clamp. You want to take that, remove it, and you want to slide it past the intake here, and you will slide this hose off, but you want to wait until you get all 6 bolts off. The 3 on the top and the 3 on the bottom. Another hose is located right here. All you do is simply pull that out. It comes out very easily. And then just have it hanging off to the side. Of course, you want to make sure you remove your spark plug covers. Those come off very easily. Lay them off to the side. And then to last step 2, there are 2 bolts located. There's one right here. They're 2 different size bolts. I don't remember what size it is, but you don't need to take off all 6. There's about 6 bolts hanging on this cover. You only need to take off 2. The first bolt is right here, and then the second bolt is located down here, which is the bigger size bolt. Then you're able to slide this cover off to the side. Be careful not to bend it too far, as it's plastic. You don't want to break it, but you're able to get, and once you got all the 6 bolts off covered, you can slide this cover off and pull off the valve cover. Hey YouTube, this is James, and I'll be bringing you a guide on how to remove your valve cover gasket on a 2001 Mitsubishi Eclipse GT. I haven't seen very many videos or any guides on how to do this properly. I know a lot of the older Eclipses, the valve cover gasket will leak oil, and the repair bill can be about $500 mark, and I'm going to be replacing the gasket myself. However, this gasket in particular is very, very thin. I mean, you can't get much of a grip under the valve cover gasket, and I had a very difficult time trying to get the gasket to come off, and I want to give you like a little tips on how to do that. First of all, when I first got it out of the car, you gotta take off your spark plugs, and there's I believe 2 hoses. There's one right here connected to there's one of the hoses there, and then there's another one that there's a hose connected to the valve cover itself, which is right here on the side, and that was a little bit of pain to get off. This is how you're gonna get started. Too is when you get started here, you want to get right on the edges there, and like I said, you want to pry it all the way down and lift up and just work your way around it. Be careful of the hole, not to bend that. You want to make sure you're above the hole and get the gasket off. And like I said, I don't know if you can see that really well, but I'm yanking up with the screwdriver, and the gasket is slowly coming up in my hands. And then now we're on the other side. We can keep working it continuous through the gasket itself. We're just going to keep working our way around the valve cover gasket. Alright, so I made a mistake of yanking on this more without using my screwdriver. So I got the piece stuck off, and I had to reheat the opposite side. I started right here. You can see I got part of the gasket off, but it split because all I did was I pulled on it, and I didn't have my screwdriver lifting in place. So of course, I had to reheat it, and I'm working on the side again. So, like, again, just keep your screwdriver up, and just keep feeding it up. Like what I'm doing right now is just keep feeding it up, keep pushing it up, and you shouldn't have any problems with it. The hardest part about this job is just getting it started. Once you have it started and you got part of the gasket in your hands and you're able to make a grip, then it's no problem. But it's just starting off as the issue. So just keep working your way around Keep digging it out, like I said, with the tip, and then just lifting it up. I don't know if you can see that how I'm doing that. Is you push it up just like I did with the knife, and you should get the whole gasket to come with it. Except for this side, I might need to redo it because it is kind of broken. But actually, I did manage to save it. You can see it's coming with me as I lift up on it. You see it's still working its way around. Do not pull on it. Just use a screwdriver. Once you get under there, lift it up with the screwdriver, not with your hand. Kind of just hold it in place. You don't want to do what I just did and just keep pulling on. I know you're anxious to get it done, but this is a little bit of a time-consuming project, and you don't want to fight with it. So just keep working it under the gasket, and then you can keep working your way around. But that's my tutorial or guide on how to remove the valve cover gasket. Not necessarily removing the valve cover itself, this piece right here, but more than likely, more in detail of the gasket itself, because that's what you're going to be replacing. If you're leaking oil, could be minor, could be major. This is what one of the causes can be, and I know that from reading the forums, I hear it's a pretty common issue with these older Eclipses. So I got quoted about $430 in parts and labor for the valve cover gasket work done, and I refused it because I figured that I can probably do this myself. I'm not an expert in anything, but definitely this is just some work I can do. Plus, I like working on my car, so I kind of enjoy it. But just remember, all you need is a heat gun to get started on one of the edges, and then you take your knife. Either way, you can take your knife and kind of work it up in the air so you can get down there. Otherwise, another tip that I found out is when you have the gasket on the side, you can kind of get your screwdriver between the gasket and the valve cover itself, and you can just press all the way down and then lift up. You want to make sure it's usually on the, like I said, where the holes are. If you were to do it out in the middle, somewhere around here, probably not going to do great, but I found easier is just to go on the side of where one of the bolt holes are located, and then just dig down with my screwdriver and lift up. And then it's going to take a little bit. It's not going to come off real easy. It's just a matter of working your way up and just kind of holding it in place and working the gasket off, because who knows how long these gaskets have been on there. I know mine's been on there probably since day one, so for 15 years. Mine's an '01. So for a new gasket, it charged me around $50, and that was for the front and back. There's this gasket with the 3 cylinders up front by your intake, and then there's 3 more. There's another gasket that's next to your firewall, and this is just for the front, next to your throttle body, or what do you want to call it. So, but yeah, if you can follow these steps, like I said, the hardest part is getting started. Once you have it started, it's fairly easy to get it off. It's just time consuming, and I'm sure anyone can do this at home or in your garage, or you have your thing set up located. It's just patience, and you want to be careful not to cut yourself on the tin, because it is kind of sharp, and when you're working with oil, it's very slippery. So just keep working your way around it, and sometimes you're gonna need to tug on the gasket itself once in a while, because it gets stuck. And now I'm on another part right here, and then all I want to do is dig down all the way down and then lift up, and then just work your way around it. So that's my little tutorial, or a little guide and a few tips. If you like what you see, be sure to leave a like, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. But I'm going to eventually get the whole entire gasket off itself and get the new one replaced, so that can stop my oil leak. Thanks everyone for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. And there we go. That's the last piece of the valve cover gasket, and all I'm gonna do is probably spray this down with some carb cleaner, wipe it all down. There's chunks of the rubber gasket down here, and we do not want that inside the valve cover. So I'm gonna go ahead and wash this all off. I'm gonna clean down the middle, and then I'm gonna prepare for the new gasket that's gonna go here. And hopefully once you get your new gasket in, put it all back together, you should have no more oil leaks. So that should get you going, and like I said, the hardest part is starting. So once you get it going and just work your way around, and this is kind of time consuming. This is my first time I've ever taken off a valve cover gasket, and the first time I've ever even attempted it. So for starting off, it probably took me at least 2 hours to get this all said and done, to take the whole valve cover off, or the gasket itself off, at least 2 hours. So it's not too bad. I would rather take off the valve cover gasket, the valve cover itself, like all the two hoses and the spark plugs. Like, I would rather take that off than to take off the gasket. The gasket was the hardest part taking off. Tearing down the valve cover itself, this was that was an easy project. So, like I said, start from one of the edges out here, and then get your screwdriver down in the middle here, and then keep prying it up. Maybe you don't necessarily need a heat gun, but I just found it very easy. You can get a little heat to it and warm it up, so it's easier to work with. And then once you get started, the rest should follow with you. Like I just said, just take your screwdriver, and if you've seen that, I just went up, and there you should be all set to go. Okay, and also when you buy your valve cover gasket, you're going to get these rings. They go through the spark plug covers, and I've already taken off 2 already. We're going to work on the 3rd one, and what I found easy is to take a heat gun. Again, like the same thing you were going to do with the gasket. You want to heat it up for at least 20 seconds, and you want to get all the sides. And we will take a screwdriver, same screwdriver we're using to take off the gasket, and we're going to pry it off very lightly. Okay, that's up. You want to take it and just lift up. Get on the bottom and lift up. Okay. There we go. There you go. There's all 3 covers. And you get your new ones right here. And I'll show you in a minute how to put them on. Okay, with your rings, you got all 3 spark plug holes, and you want to do is you want to lay them in there with the tip up. You want to place them around. I'm going to get them started right on there, push them down. Once you get your valve cover back on, this will seal. And then the same deal, put the other one on, lightly press it down. And for the 3rd one, there you go. Now we got the covers on, spark plug covers. Okay, so once you got your new valve cover put on, you got everything bolted down, and you got your EGR back in and the clamp. You will notice possibly there will be leftover oil residue on one of these 3 bolts on the front here. Don't worry, it's not actually leaking oil. It's just residue that will come out, and you will be having a dry gasket. But yeah, if you can follow these steps, like I said, the hardest part is getting started. Once you have it started, it's fairly easy to get it off. It's just time consuming, and I'm sure anyone can do this at home or in your garage, or you have your thing set up located. It's just patience, and you want to be careful not to cut yourself on the tin because it is kind of sharp, and when you're working with oil, it's very slippery. So just keep working your way around it, and sometimes you're gonna need to tug on the gasket itself once in a while because it gets stuck. And now I'm on another part right here, and then all I want to do is dig down all the way down and then lift up, and then just work your way around it. So that's my little tutorial, a little guide, and a few tips. If you like what you see, be sure to leave a like, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. Thanks everyone for watching. Stay tuned for more videos.